Hello YouTube, my name is Venator, and today we are back in Highland Lake TP's NA server, celebrating a very important milestone for the channel. This past week, we crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark. I cannot begin to describe how grateful I am, and especially to those of you that have been here since the very beginning and stuck with me through the subtitle days. And since my first video was in Highland Lake, I figured what better way to celebrate 1,000 subs than with an action-packed Highlands adventure. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right into the action. As you can see, we are starting out with some bush Wookiee hunting. This has quickly become one of my favorite hunting strategies, especially around Highland Lake, as there are several spots around the lake that work very well for this strategy. But my favorite spot is right here where the dam used to be. The gap here between the cliff and the water is almost entirely covered by bushes and makes for the perfect ambush spot. Just takes a bit of practice to get the timing down. But I will say, it's not the easiest hunting strategy. Here, it can be very challenging because sometimes you never know for certain which way things will be coming from. Oftentimes, you have to move around in the bush to change angles for lining up grabs, and when doing this, I almost always Z-walk, so you make less noise. And here, I forgot to turn it back off, so I wasn't able to get this Teno back to the water. It's small things like this that can be the difference between success and failure while hunting. And only if my friend was a couple seconds faster, we still would have gotten one of these Tenos. Then, the next day, we had this lone Stego walk up to Mud Pit, and I was too far off and didn't have enough stamina to get over there and grab him, but luckily my friend did. So naturally, we had to play a little bit of Pass the Stego. I know you're not supposed to play with your food, but we make special exemptions for Stego players. It's not often you get opportunities like this where they risk a drink in the grabbing range at Highlands. I bet this guy will think twice about drinking here in the future. And with the abundance of food we had, we just had to throw down a nest and get some other players in. Nesting in Highlands is one of my favorite things to do, mainly because not a lot of players get the chance to come here. Not only is getting here quite difficult, especially if the server's full due to the risk of getting killed on the walk here, but also because even if you do manage to get here, there's oftentimes another duo of dinos in here that will likely kill you if you enter the lake. But admittedly, it is definitely a difficult place to grow a dino. The good thing though, there is a lot of body drops, so you don't ever have to worry about starving. And right here, this Dibble, he messaged me on Discord. He wanted an egg, so he came and sacrificed his body for the nest. Instead of storing and collecting the coins, he knew that this corpse would help him in the journey to grow a dino. And I'm sure the rest of the nest is very grateful for this sacrifice as well. It's not often that you get this many organs to feast off of for the first quarter of your life. So Lucerius, if you're out there, I appreciate your sacrifice to the cause, and I hope you made it to adult. Also, I apologize if I completely butchered your name. And then, right as I was about to log off, I had to do a double take because I noticed this Teno drinking right next to me. And I was even on the surface of the water, and he didn't bat an eye. He just sat there, and I came up and got an easy kill for the kids. Over at Mud Pit, I had this Dibble come up, and he was in the spot where you can follow up your dash with a good lunge. And Dibbles are so slow on their turn radius that they can't escape fast enough once they see you dash out of the water. After that Dibble kill, we didn't see much for the next hour or so, and we had to log due to our hunger. And when we returned, we came across this solo dino, who happened to have the same skin as me, so we couldn't let that stand. and we needed the food. And so we went right on the attack, and in a 2v1, he knew he was done. He tried to put up a fight and would mix in some attacks while running, but ultimately, his efforts were in vain. Like I always say, 2v1s aren't necessarily fair, but that's just the IO for you. Nothing about this game is meant to be fair. I will say though, this guy did a pretty good job at trying to run and fight us individually, but since we were both full stamina, there wasn't a ton that he could do to separate us. My partner and I did a good job at staying close and taking turns going in and out to trade bites. And since both of our stamina was getting low, we knew this guy, he had to be pretty close to running out of stamina. I don't know if he thought that maybe we couldn't see at the bottom of the lake or what his plan was, but there wasn't a ton he could do. Going down into the bottom does make it riskier for us because we can bite each other, but either way, we were both had enough health and enough stamina. Well, at least my partner did. I ran out of stamina here. Had it just been me, he probably could have gotten away. And my friend finished him off. And the good thing is, neither of us even got to yellow health, so that was a win. And as you can tell, we were getting pretty low on food, so this was a much needed meal. And so after filling up, we decided that was enough Dino for the day, and we both logged off after consuming this guy's corpse. A few days later, I was looking at the bounty map on the Petite's Discord and saw that there was an Outcast in Highlands. So I messaged my friend so we could log on and track this guy down. Unfortunately though, it was so dark, I couldn't really edit this to make it any clearer. But you didn't miss much. While this guy was trying to escape, he got that dreaded bug where when you dash, it DCs you. So it was a pretty easy kill. Honestly, it's not the best way or the way I would like to win a fight, but hey, it is what it is. And my friend got the awesome vigilante skin for the kill. And funny enough, that wasn't the only outcast in the lake. It turns out there was also an outcast Beppy, and I had seen him run up on shore towards this bush. But unlucky for him, some Carnos also saw him, and as they closed in, he ran back to the water, not knowing the danger that was lurking just beneath the surface. And I don't normally kill Beppies, but when there's a price on your head and I can get a cool skin from it, anything's fair game at that point. And he almost escaped, but he just wasn't quick enough. And so I was able to get that awesome vigilante skin and match my partner. And since we were both vigilantes, we decided to take this opportunity to do a nest, because for those of you that don't know, once you log as a vigilante, it resets your species gender to male. So this would be our only opportunity to do so. And after getting the first batch in, I decided we should go ahead and do a second batch since we had so much food here. Also, for those of you that aren't aware, nesting is an incredible way to raise your social score on the Petite server. And after getting this second group in, I realized that I had more eggs than people, as they didn't get all taken right away. Typically people are hot for eggs, but it was a little slow this time. Since we had a couple left over, I decided to take them and drop them for the younglings. Eggs are an amazing source of nutrients when you're first starting out. They will get you to 300% growth and really accelerate that growth early in your life. And nesting in Highlands doesn't come without its dangers. There's a lot of Herreras around, and this guy had already killed one of our kids, so I was determined to chomp him. Even though it took me a couple tries, I was able to get him down. More food for the kids. And even though they do nothing for me, these really small organs are still very good sources of diet for the little ones. And after nesting, we came back a couple hours later and found another solo dino in the lake. And I wanted to include this just to show you guys that we don't always kill everybody on sight. This guy ran up to the shore and let me come right up to him. He had accepted his fate, but we decided to show some mercy since he was a chill player. Here, we had been trying to get one of these Mayas, and I couldn't believe it when he just turned around and walked right in front of my friend. I have no idea what this guy was thinking. But as you can see, the food was much needed, and my friend didn't have enough stamina, but luckily I did, so our meal was secured. Moving on, Sniper had already killed one Sarah, and his friend was sitting here biting at him, but I guess he didn't consider that Sniper could have enough stamina to grab him. So after he grabbed him, I came up and, well, kind of botched the headshot, but was able to turn and finish him off before he got released. And to wrap up the 1000 subscriber video, what better way than an awesome Maya grab? And look at this herd of Mayas. I had never seen this big of a group. And unfortunately, I completely botched the grab, or we could have had a nice double kill. But either way, it was a lot of fun. But this Sarah wasn't out of harm's way yet. He still had the whole herd of Mayas after him. And after getting a little bit of stam, and he was using the water as a shield, well, that was a bad choice. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you all next time, and happy hunting.